Thanks for joining us once again for your update from the city of New Hope. Mayor Kathi Hemken with us once again to bring us up to date. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Hi, Dave. I'm just fine. Obviously, the background behind me hasn't been changed.
That's
I
right.
just, I just want to hang on to fall for a couple more weeks.
We all would like to. It is the Monday when the snow is coming here, so we are making our way through this. But again, we'll get some snow pictures for you as we move along. Let's talk about a lot of things happening within the city. First, and end with as well, we're going to talk about some opportunities for residents to get involved and help out. The first is the Police Coat and Toy Drive. Give us a little background on this great endeavor and how people can help out.
Well, the police department has decided, and I think this is a few years going, that they do a coat drive about this time of the year. They're looking for new or slightly used coats. And I know how kids outgrow their coats. So anything that they have that's clean and not too worn would be very helpful. The police then take those coats and or the toys and bring them to families that are in need of them. And what they don't have a home for, they'll bring to either Prism or donate somewhere.
And that process is just bringing those items into the police department or city hall. Tell us how that works.
Well, they can just come in the door where the police department is. There's a big bin. That's the good news. The bad news is they're going to be done on the 15th of December. So they don't have a lot of time to get that in there. They'll take toys a little bit later than that, but the coats, they want to start distributing them. So if you've got a coat, get it there today if you can.
All right, more information on the city's website about that and many other things we'll talk about, newhopemn.gov. Here's an ongoing event that's got a fun name to it, Don't It Make You Wonder, and it is something that really is educational, and there's a great opportunity coming up, Mayor. Tell us more.
Well, it's always on the third Wednesday of the month. It's at the Crystal Community Center. We do it in conjunction with Crystal and Robbinsdale. And the donut is not do not, it's actually a donut. And for $3, you get donut and coffee, and for an hour and a half, you can listen to somebody talk about some particular subject. Well, this month it's going to be the flag. So on Wednesday, the 16th,
Correct.
the 16th, from 10 to 11:30 at the Crystal Community Center. It costs $3. It's time well spent, and it's really fun to listen to what they have to say and then just meet some of your neighbors.
Particular age group audience that is targeted for?
It's mostly seniors.
Okay.
Because the kids are in school and other folks are working, so it's mostly seniors. But there's a few other people there too.
Sounds good. Let's talk about another event that's coming up. This is on the 18th, Round Dance Native American Heritage Month. Sounds like a great opportunity to get out and experience some culture.
Well, I have to back up just a little bit. So I did not get a Friday memo this week. Usually I get something at the end of the week telling me what's happening in the city. Well, because we had Veterans Day off, I didn't get a Friday memo. So what I'm doing today is just talking about all the fun things that are happening in the city and around the city and things that people might be interested. So back to that. This is Native American Heritage Month. And they're having something called a round dance. Well, I looked that up because I had no idea what that was. And basically, it's Indian drums beating. And then you get in a circle and you kind of just dance. Anybody can do this. And it's a real healing process. So this is going to be at Robbinsdale Middle School. That's the one right off of 36th and across from Cub.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Toledo. And it's 6 o'clock, 6 to 8. They'll have some food there, but it's just a nice place to go and spend the Friday evening.
Let's talk about something that may be a little bit too late now, but we'll still throw it out there in case the snow melts. It's the yard waste site, and everyone's been scurrying to get the leaves out of there before it snows. Now it's upon us, but if you've got leaves already raked up, what do we do with them?
Well, if they're not raked up now, you're probably not going to get them raked up. But the yard waste site is open until the 30th of November, and it's free to New Hope residents. You have to bring your ID with you. The website's on this, so it'll tell you where to go to drop these off. You want to get those bags out of there, or those tree limbs and things. Just get those to the waste site, and it's a free program.
Here's that website, Maple Grove, or mgyardwaste.com, mgyardwaste.com. There's also a number, 763-420-4100. 888-4886. One reminder, bring your ID with you. You just need to show that you are a New Hope resident. We've talked, Mayor, many times throughout the past months about the budget process that is coming to an end, but you have a few budget notes to pass along.
We do. So the council voted on the preliminary budget in September, and that budget is going to be about $1 million higher than it was last year. Now, that turns out to be about a 4.51% levy increase. What's going to happen is, because most house prices in New Hope have gone up, you might see a slight increase on your taxes. So on December 5th at 7 o'clock at City Hall, you can come in and give us comments on the budget, if you will. So the main things that made that budget go up are wages, a higher IT cost, the amount of money that we pay to West Metro for their leases. The other thing that happened is there was a $62,000 reduction in the central garage account. Okay. So various things go in there. It costs a lot of money to run a city, and that's what the budget is. So you can come in and give us comments. I have to comment though, our levy increase is about the lowest in the metro area around us. So we did a really good job, I think, of keeping that levy down as much as we could. But you should be able to see your tax statement before the 5th. If you have some questions on it, you can call City Hall. They might get answered that way, or you certainly can come to that meeting on the 5th of December at 7 o'clock.
Excellent. Let's talk about home improvement loans and energy squad audits. And it may be a good time of the year to talk about this as weather turns a little bit colder. And this is all through the CEE. Tell us some more about who the CEE is and what this process is all about.
It's the Center for Energy and Environment. And they're a group that will come into your home and do an energy audit. So what they do is they check to see if you've got leaky windows, making sure that your door jambs are okay and not letting in a lot of cold air. It does cost $50 to have this audit done, but the city of New Hope pays for half of that. And then if there are things that need to be done, they'll help you find some loan money if you need to do that. Some of these low interest loans that they have. So it's really a good thing to do. If you have any doubts about it, you can always call the city and ask them about it, or go online to CEE and see what that's all about.
And here's that website, mncee.org/New Hope, and you can find all the information you need about getting involved in that program. Another program we've been talking about is the Curb Appeal Reimbursement Program. I understand there's still a little time to get involved this year, and maybe you have some thoughts about what might be possible next year.
Well, there's still time this year, and I just called to check, and they still have some money to give out. Okay. So if you're doing a project, you need to submit the plans to the Community Development Department. They will review the plans and let you know whether or not they will help you with that. So the whole deal is they'll pay 25% of the project. I think the minimum amount is $1,000 project, up to $20,000. So they'll pay a minimum amount of the 25% of that. So if you have a project coming, this is now the time to try to do that. I'm pretty sure they're going to do this again next year. But what happens at the beginning of the year, you get a lot of requests that we may run out of money for the program. So if you're close to doing it, get busy and do it now before the end of the year.
Makes sense. Business Networking Group, they've got their next meeting coming up on December 7th, and it as a place familiar to all of us, the City Hall. What is the topic for that event?
Well, it's at ease and wellness. So a woman runs a company, and basically she does a wellness review. So it's at 8:30 in the morning. All these business meetings, some are at 8:30, some are 2 in the afternoon. We try to vary them so more people can come. It's going to be at City Hall. It doesn't cost anything to come, and it doesn't cost anything to join the Business Networking Group. So if you don't have a lot to do in the morning, come to the Business Networking Group at 8:30.
Here's something for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders group. Maybe we don't touch a lot in these updates, but here you go, kids. Listen up, or parents, if you've got kids that age. It's something called Mayor for a Day. What is this all about?
So the League of Minnesota Cities has been putting this on since 2013. And what it is if you could be mayor for a day, what would you do? And it's available to 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. So they could write their essay. There's no no determination of how many words have to be in it. So it's not like a lesson that you have to do. Write the essay. You can either mail it in, send it by email, or somehow get it to the League of Minnesota Cities. They will judge them. There's $100 prize for the winner. And then what they do is they send the letters to the various cities that they came from, so that all of us mayors can read what those 4th and 5th and 6th graders think mayors should be doing.
Fantastic. All right. Great program. Here's a website if you want to find out more, lmc.org/mayor for a day. So go there and find out how you can get involved, and maybe send a letter to Mayor Hemken and see what the mayor's work is all about. We started this update with a couple things that you can do to get involved to help out those in need with coats. Now we're going to end with a few things that are helping out as well. And one is the toy distribution that happens on an annual basis through NEAR. And this is coming up in mid-December.
So NEAR is located in Crystal, but it does service the people north of 42nd. And that's why this toy distribution is being held there, because you need a big space to do this. These toys come from NEAR. They come from a toy fest that the Eisenbergs, that's a couple in New Hope, that they hold every year, and also from city staff that has donated toys, and the toys that you bring into City Hall, either the police department or just to City Hall. So those toys are all laid out on tables. They're assorted by age, and if you're in need of having to get toys for your kids for Christmas, this is the time to go there. So that happens on the 17th of December. I don't know what the time is, but you can go on to toy distribution in Crystal and look at when the time is for that.
Yeah, if you look up through the NEAR website, you can find out more about that. And NEAR is involved with a number of area churches, and they have some great toy drives as well to bring in items to make sure that people get what's in need. And people do need to be a client of NEAR. So again, you can go to NEAR to find out more information about that. Final note is something called Blue Santa. And this is something that's been around for a while, but a little name change here. How does this process work?
Well, they used to do a shop with a cop.
Right.
And so the police officer would take the child into Target and they would go shopping. Well, the new idea from our police chief and staff is that that might be a little scary for a kid to do that, and might not be real comfortable doing that. So instead what they're doing is they're asking the parents what the child might like for Christmas. They go out and buy them, and they bring them into City Hall, and then they wrap those gifts. And they also have a little snack, we have a pizza party. So they're calling it Blue Santa. If you're in need of help to get toys for your children for Christmas, I suggest you call the police department and ask to talk to the person involved with Blue Santa. And that would be Brad Callio. And he'll let you know if there's still room in the program for your child to get some help.
Fantastic. And again, go to the city's website, newhopemn.gov. You can find out more. Final note we'll pass along is just to mention this, the In Motion. You probably have this at home, or they're all over City Hall. And this is, again, a great tool as we head into winter. And you can maybe even do things like this, Mayor, golf in the winter.
Golf in the winter, and that's going to happen in early February.
Okay.
They plow out a few holes in the snow, and you hit a tennis ball with a golf club. It's just a riot. It bounces around, and then they go out on the deck and have some more. So they're going to be doing that, but there's a lot of good stuff in that In Motion magazine. Some of it's free, and I just want to remind people that if there's a charge for the program they're having, and it's an athletic program, the city will help with half of the fee, but you have to apply for that, and you have to apply in person. So you go to City Hall with ID indicating where you live in New Hope, and then you sign up for one of these programs, and the city will pay for half of that fee.
Very nice. And final note we should pass along. We see the golf course behind you in its state in early fall, but now with the snow on the ground, I take it, Mayor, the season is done. You're not going out again for a while?
It's done. Well, until the snow melts.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it's done permanently. So if we happen to get a warm day and the greens aren't frozen, they might open again. It's a little doubtful though, but they still, they're still renting the clubhouse.
Right.
There's still lots of activities going on. If you want to have your Christmas party there, it's a perfect place to have that.
Exactly. All right. So newhopemn.gov, the place to go to find out more about what's going on in the city and some of the updates on things we've mentioned here. Stick with us. We're going to show you some events coming up in the city, some we've already mentioned, and others that are happening in the next couple months that you might want to get involved in. Mayor Hemken, thanks once again for your time. Look forward to talk to you again next week.
I'll see you next week, Dave.
Learn more about the connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.